All right, guys, we'll get this show rocking and rolling shortly. Friday edition of the show. Handful of items we got to cover today. Good to be with you on a Friday. Do me a favor, give the show a like and a share wherever you are watching. Live on every social media platform known to mankind. With a good show lined up for you. A lot of businesses associated with fuel and gas are obviously having their margins pinched. And as a result of that financial hardship, you're seeing a lot of them come on the market from a for sale standpoint. So yesterday we talked about this. And today, I had a handful, yesterday and today, a handful of business owners reach out to me about active listings or listings with their businesses that are about to come on the market. So we'll highlight a new one that came on from yesterday with two more to be announced next week here on the I Love Cville Network. We'll announce a new business that is now for sale today, and two more once I get the green light from the current owners that we'll announce tomorrow or next week. We had some hospitality changes as well. We'll talk about that. New day-to-day operators of the Quirk Hotels. There's a Quirk Hotel in Charlottesville and there's one in Richmond. New day-to-day operators. That topic will come up today on the program. We have Nelson County looking to lower taxes. Kevin Higgins sent me this story. You, the viewer and listener, can very much dictate the pace and tempo of the show, and Kevin Higgins is a valued listener and viewer. We've dubbed him the King of Greenwood, and I'm a huge fan of his. He sent me a topic of conversation yesterday that I will weave into discussion today. Concerning trend in education, not enough substitute teachers in Charlottesville City and Albemarle County schools. In fact, Charlottesville City school system have lowered the qualification requirements to be a substitute teacher. In the past, substitute teachers needed some college education, to substitute teach. That qualification has now decreased. Now substitute teachers in Charlottesville City schools have to be high school graduates and have no college experience to teach within the school system. So that topic's going to come up today on the program. We will rock and roll in T-minus 15 seconds today on the I Love Cville show. Judah Wickower, we can rock when you're ready. Guys, good Friday afternoon. I'm Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love Cville show. Thank you kindly for joining us. Of course, we're live in Charlottesville, across Albemarle County, Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love Cville network. We're presented by Skooma Boutique Dispensary, the best dispensary in the city of Charlottesville. Central Virginia, for that matter, is Skooma Boutique Dispensary, and our friends at Skooma Boutique Dispensary are opening a second location. So we're very proud and pleased and excited to work alongside Skooma Boutique Dispensary in an expanding business. Their first location on the downtown mall next to Rapture Restaurant. Certificates of analyses for everything in the store. Their second location, Skooma's, heading to Ellwood Avenue. So very pumped, very excited for Skooma to expand to a new location on Ellwood Avenue, right off the UVA corner to capture an captive and engaged marketplace of UVA students. A lot we're going to cover on today's show. Nelson County, Virginia is considering lowering its property taxes, its personal property taxes, and its tax rate associated with real estate, its real estate tax rate. Yes, you heard me correctly, a government, a jurisdiction, and its leadership are considering lowering the real estate tax rate and the personal property tax rate. Jesse Rutherford and the Nelson County Board of Supervisors passing savings at a time of inflation to voters and taxpayers. We'll talk about that on today's program. We will also highlight on today's show a new operator, day-to-day operations for the Quirk Hotels, one in Richmond and one in Charlottesville. The Quirk Hotels are boutique hotels owned by the Ukrops family, Ted Ukrop and wife Katie Ukrop, yes, of the Ukrop grocery store fame. Ted Ukrop has parted ways with Hyatt Hotels as the operator of his two locations in Richmond and Charlottesville, and is choosing a new operator, who we will let you know who that operator is, an operator that has already strong ties to Charlottesville, Virginia. So get ready for that story on the I Love CVille show. We learned from our friend Keith Smith today, who did a fantastic job in an interview with NBC 29. And Keith Smith, you are undoubtedly a media mogul. I mentioned that to you earlier this morning on your show, Real Talk. Rents in the city of Charlottesville are up 13%. Now that number varies depending on the jurisdiction, but in Charlottesville, 13% year over year. It's a startling number. It is a startling number. We'll highlight that on the program. I want to highlight what I consider to be a disturbing or concerning trend. We do not have enough substitute teachers in the city of Charlottesville and in the Albemarle County school system. In fact, the shortage of substitute teachers is so severe, the city of Charlottesville is having to raise the pay for the substitute teachers while lowering the requirements to substitute teach. They are so strapped for teachers, it is now easier from a requirement standpoint to be a substitute teacher, and you're going to get paid more for doing it. The bus driver shortage, the substitute teacher shortage, shortages or limitations associated with digital infrastructures, COVID impacting public schools. That trend, even with the pandemic now in endemic stage, the collateral damage is still being felt. We will talk about that today in the program. Yesterday, I mentioned to you guys that I was going to launch a new aspect of our business where we will highlight and champion and work alongside founders and partners and entrepreneurs and owners of locally owned businesses in Central Virginia and in the Shenandoah Valley. The response has been positive and significant since making that announcement yesterday. And since making the announcement yesterday on this talk show, we have heard from 3 other business owners that are in the very near future, including one who allowed me to make the announcement today, looking to sell their respective business. So the idea is we will utilize our platforms and reach to help drive attention for the listing and help attract a buyer for their business. The new business that I've been green-lighted to talk about today is in the food truck space. We'll let you know which one, why the business is for sale, and what you can do about it if you'd like to purchase it. If you haven't noticed, and we will certainly make an emphasis of this moving forward, there is a transition happening in the small business space in Central Virginia, either for retirement purposes or fatigue associated from the pandemic or financial hardship associated with the pandemic. A transition is tangible and palpable and obvious. Folks are looking to do new things. We'll highlight which one is available, and we'll tease or hint that two others are on the horizon for next week on the I Love CVille Network. I'm grateful for your viewership. Thank you for joining us, guys. Scott Wagner, Sports Medicine, a partner of the program. Dr. Wagner and his team undoubtedly have your back. Scott Wagner is doing big-time things with his clinic in the city of Charlottesville. The lead of the show is something Kevin Higgins sent me. Kevin Higgins is the king of Greenwood and a valued viewer of this show. Yesterday evening, he sent me some details of Nelson County, its Board of Supervisors, and how the jurisdiction is trying to put more disposable income in the pockets of taxpayers, voters, and citizens in Nelson County, Virginia. I'm going to give you specifics now. The real estate tax rate in Nelson County, the Board of Supervisors, in an upcoming meeting on April 28th, are reviewing new rates for real estate and for personal property. Let's talk the real estate tax rate first. The supervisors of Nelson are likely going to reduce the real estate tax rate on an April 28th Board of Supervisors meeting from 72 cents to $100 of 72 cents to 65 cents for $100 of real estate value. A drop in 7 cents for the real estate tax rate in Nelson County. Furthermore, the Board of Supervisors in Nelson County, personal property taxes, they're considering reducing the rate from $3.45 to $2.79 per $100 in valuation. Jesse Rutherford, friend of the program, has come on this show many times, and he's explained that Nelson County runs its jurisdiction in extreme fiscal conservative mentalities. They have a surplus of revenue. A surplus of revenue for a government. I think that's worth reiterating. Nelson County has a surplus of revenue. And because of that piggy bank of money, Nelson County is reducing, likely reducing, the meeting is April 28th, likely reducing the real estate tax rate from 72 cents per $100 of value to 65 cents per $100 of value. That's a 7-cent reduction. That is a lot. That is a lot. That is basically 10% reduction. Personal property taxes, cars, trucks, vehicles, boats, motorcycles, they're going to reduce, most likely, personal property taxes from $3.45 to $2.79 per $100 of valuation. And guess what they're doing? They're going to tax transient rentals, Airbnbs. They're going to double that tax from 5% to 10%, potentially. So think about what Nelson County, and thank you, Kevin Higgins, for sending this to me. Nelson County is saying to its residents, we know your real estate assessments have gone through the roof and it's not unique to Nelson, it's everywhere. Charlottesville, Albemarle, Fluvanna. And because your real estate assessments are going through the roof, we're going to get more money because your homes are valued at a higher clip. And we understand because your homes are valued higher, you're going to have to pay more on assessments. So we want to try to help you out. We also know that gasoline's digging into your pocket because gas prices are high and grocery bills are high, and we know the value of $1 is not as significant as it used to be because inflation is trending well over 8%, probably flirting with 9%. So we're going to try to help you out. We're going to make the real estate tax rate 7 cents lower. We're going to make the personal property tax rate, good Lord, 66 cents lower. And we're going to do this because we have this war chest of money over here. And we want to run our government fiscally conservatively. It's the almost polar opposite of what we're seeing in other jurisdictions locally. We'll take Charlottesville, for example. Charlottesville is going to raise the real estate tax rate. Charlottesville is not going to make an adjustment to the personal property tax rate. Charlottesville is going to increase the meals tax. Charlottesville is budget strapped, cash strapped. Charlottesville is choosing to increase taxes to cover the costs of projects and raises and capital improvement infrastructure projects. Nelson is the opposite. Money in the bank. Lower the taxes. Charlottesville, scrambling for money. Raise the taxes because of that scramble. I highlight this for you because it's an indication that if you elect the right leadership, that you could run a jurisdiction fiscally conservatively and pass that strategy and mindset onto voters and citizens and taxpayers. I've tried to emphasize on this show and prepare everyone that you are in the near few weeks going to get a personal property tax bill in the mail. And you're going to be taken aback with your used cars, your trucks, your motorcycles actually increasing in value. Normally, used vehicles depreciate. In today's post-COVID ecosystem, used vehicles are not depreciating, they're appreciating and gaining in value. And the Commissioner of Revenue of the City of Charlottesville, he has papered the trail, and he has explained, Mr. Todd Divers, to as many people as willing to listen, that we need to consider lowering the personal property tax rate to help offset the appreciation of used vehicles. Council, you know the emoji that you have on your phone, those emojis with the monkeys? And the monkeys are covering their eyes. The monkeys are covering their ears. And the monkeys are covering their mouth. You guys know that emoji, those 3 emojis on your phone? It's a reflection of what? Hear no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil. You know can we go to the 2-shot and welcome Judah Wickhauer into the program? Our esteemed director. Is that what the emojis on the phone of the 3 monkeys are? See no evil, speak no evil, and hear no evil?
Yep. That's the gist of it. It's you've got the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, and it's I mean, let me look up when that started.
The Commissioner of Revenue, Todd Divers, is telling the counselors, hey, lower the personal property tax rate. Nelson County's about to do that. Council is in Charlottesville is not. I'm perplexed by that. I highlight what Nelson is doing as a potential barometer of how you can run a jurisdiction. I'm all for school reconfigurations and capital improvement projects. We must narrow the educational equity gap that widened during the pandemic. We must. But we don't do it at the risk of financial peril in our future. We don't do it at the risk of gentrification and pushing families and individuals on the financial margin out of the community. We do it like we run our household budgets, by taking some dollars and putting them in a bank, in an account, in a piggy bank, in a drawer, in a jar, and saving the money. That's what Nelson's doing. And Nelson is realizing their citizens are in hardship, and they're passing the savings back to the citizens by reducing their taxes. My Lord, bravo, Nelson County government. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Don't listen to the Commissioner of Revenue. Come on. Right? Am I missing something, Judah?
No. No, you got it. The Three Wise Monkeys are originally Japanese, obviously embodying the principles, and yeah, I think you're right on.
Cork Hotel, new topic. The Ukrops family, Katie and Ted Ukrop, yes, of the Ukrop grocery store fame, they have two wonderful hotels. Cork Hotel in Richmond, my wonderful wife and I have had the pleasure of visiting. Cork Hotel in Charlottesville, you don't even need to stay there to visit. If you're in Charlottesville or Richmond, go to the Cork Hotel, have drinks, have some food. If you're in Charlottesville and you want one of the best views in Central Virginia, go to the Cork Hotel on West Main, go to the rooftop, get a cocktail or a beer or some food, and sit outside, now that the weather's getting pretty nice, and enjoy one of the true God's gifts that Charlottesville has to offer, this view. 360-degree view of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Katie and Ted Ukrop have developed and built the Cork Hotels around a boutique experience. Luxurious, amenities, service, food and beverage, and art. Katie is an art aficionado. You'll immediately be struck by the art on the walls and the design and the color palettes and the look of these gorgeous hotels. The Cork Hotels have been managed from a day-to-day standpoint by Hyatt Hotels. Hyatt Hotels, a global brand, And effective today, April 1, Hyatt Hotels are no longer managing the day-to-day of Quirk Hotel Richmond or Quirk Hotel Charlottesville. Ted Ukrop said working with Hyatt was difficult because of their global brand status. In fact, he was quoted by Richmond BizSense, a publication I read daily, as saying this about Hyatt Hotels as an operator of his 2 boutique hotels. Nothing against Hyatt, but they are a global brand, and we always wanted to be independent, an authentic boutique hotel. It was really challenging to do that with a company trying to brand themselves. We're a small, nimble group, and it's hard to work with an operator that is just so big. It's like turning the Titanic sometimes to get something done with the Hyatt Hotels as an operator. End quote. So who did he choose for this transition? Ted Ukrop chose Retro Hospitality and friend of the program, Paul Cooper, who's been on this show twice. I'm going to reach out to Paul again. Paul Cooper's firm is Retro Hospitality, a Richmond-based firm. Paul Cooper is the founder and CEO of Retro Hospitality. Paul Cooper and Retro Hospitality are also the day-to-day operators of, do you remember, J-Dubs?
No, ask me that again.
The day-to-day operators of Dairy Market. Chris Henry's Dairy Hall on Preston Avenue. Paul Cooper and Retro Hospitality manage the operations of Dairy Market. Now Paul Cooper and his Retro Hospitality group are going to manage Quirk Hotel Charlottesville and Quirk Hotel Richmond. Paul Cooper, friend of the program, is a good operator. He's a connected guy. Connected guy. He understands operations and staffing. And Ted Ukrop, essentially firing Hyatt Hotels as his operator and hiring Retro Hospitality as his new operator, is indicating he wants to localize and personalize and humanize the operations of his boutique hotels. This will be to the benefit of Richmonders and Charlottesvillians. Paul Cooper has indicated on the record that Retro Hospitality will further strengthen or focus or highlight the Quirk's commitment to art. So now the Quirk Hotel as Retro Hospitality gets its sleeves rolled up and gets to work, is going to be building these hotels or focusing these hotels around even more art experiences, art shows, art packages, art trips, art advertising. I would expect that Quirk Hotel Richmond and Quirk Hotel Charlottesville will become regional epicenters for art. I would expect these brands, this brand and these locations to be branded as the best of the best potentially for artists globally to showcase their talents. And like that, let's talk Charlottesville, and like that, Charlottesville has become potentially even stronger and better with its offerings, which are bountiful to us in Central Virginia. Retro Hospitality, the day-to-day operators of Dairy Market, Chris Henry's Food Hall, are now the day-to-day operators of Quirk Hotel Richmond and Quirk Hotel Charlottesville. And they have indicated they will continue and take it to another level of prioritizing art and showings and attracting global artists and their work and talents to these two boutique hotels. I want to talk about a trend that I found concerning. This from Charlottesville Tomorrow. Charlottesville City Schools and Albemarle County Public Schools are among the many districts that do not have enough substitute teachers. Because there are not enough substitute teachers, the two school districts are having to scramble to find people. Charlottesville City Schools are scrambling so much, they have diminished or lowered the requirements to be a substitute teacher. Now, to be a substitute teacher in Charlottesville City School System, all that is required is a high school diploma. Previously, what was required was college course credits and experience. So substitute teachers in the city of Charlottesville have lower requirements, and they're getting paid more money because they don't have enough teachers. They're having to pay teachers more to try to attract them, substitutes. This should concern us all. Albemarle County and Charlottesville City Schools, Albemarle County Public Schools and Charlottesville City Schools are seeing enrollment numbers drop, are seeing bus drivers drop, substitute teachers drop, full-time teachers drop. They're seeing digital infrastructures not up to par. And all five elements are obvious collateral damage from this pandemic. I worry that the trends we are seeing in the trades, electrical, plumbing, woodworking, carpenter, where we have a severe lack of tradespeople, I worry that trend is going to also manifest itself into education. We know teachers aren't paid enough. They should be paid more. In this pandemic, and whether it comes again in the fall, which probably we're going to have some COVID to deal with in the colder months this fall, let's cut to the chase, is that driving teachers out of the profession? Pay and work conditions. I think the answer is obvious. And as it drives people out of the work conditions, what does that do with public school systems and the education they offer? I worry about that. That's why I've said many times on this program, I'm not so sure the future of education is one teacher in a classroom teaching 25 kids. Maybe the future is certainly as the metaverse becomes a reality, is one teacher in the metaverse teaching hundreds of kids. That's why investing all this money in a school brick and mortar setting is risky. Lowering the requirements for substitute teachers and raising the pay because we don't have enough of them. That is what the city of Charlottesville is going through right now. That worries me. Another trend that worries me, and we talked about this with Keith Smith, I need to highlight it for you guys. Rents are astronomical. 13%, according to apartmentlist.com, rents have gone up in the city of Charlottesville 13% year over year. In the last month alone, they went up 0.5 percentage point. 13% increase in rents year over year is the definition of gentrification, the definition of a lack of supply, the definition of a more wealthy and homogeneous community. And if jurisdictional development requirements don't start to loosen, this problem will continue to manifest itself. And it's no longer just Charlottesville and Albemarle County that are being hit by this. Ally Property Management's Suzanne Reel said the average rent in Fluvanna County is up almost $400 year over year. As Keith Smith explained to us, it's a clear and simple supply and demand issue. Oh, I worry about that. I was contacted yesterday by the owners of a food truck business. It is the Yolk Shack. See if you can find it online.
Y-O-L-K?
Y-O-L-K Shack, the Yolk Shack. If you type in the Yolk, Y-O-L-K Shack.com and go to images, you'll see some images that maybe you can put on screen if you could, please. The Yolk Shack is a food truck that specializes in breakfast sandwiches. Breakfast food truck. The asking price is $20,000, but the owners have made it clear that the price is negotiable. This food truck is associated with propane and gasoline. It's a food truck. Would have gone up in costs considerably over the last year, certainly over the last 45 days. Propane and gas. The owners are tired. They're fatigued. They're ready to piece. The unit is in excellent condition and was bought in 2019. Give me a thumbs up when that's on screen, if you could, please, sir. So 20 grand, you have a chance to buy a food truck business that has all the necessary paperwork to operate, including documentation from the health department, title, registration, business license, everything ready to transfer. Social media channels are included in the sale if you want to keep the brand the same. If you want to rebrand the business, you can certainly do that, but there's going to be a cost for repainting and rebranding and recreating social channels. I told you yesterday, or I explained yesterday, that I'm going to be launching a new aspect to this business, and where we're going to start highlighting and championing and working alongside businesses that are looking to sell or exit their respective models. You see it?
Yeah, you wouldn't be missing much if you decided to rebrand. That's for sure.
Why do you say that?
No Facebook page, and their Instagram is like maybe 10 or 15 images with a bunch of logos interspersed.
I mean, if they rebrand it, they're going to have to repaint the food truck. That's going to cost them thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that'll cost you money, but
if you can find somebody to do it. I mean, I get what you're saying, that you could go ahead and buy the business and redo it yourself. They have 393 followers on Instagram. I mean, I got to imagine that repainting this food truck is going to cost thousands of dollars.
It probably would.
And then once you repaint the food truck, you're going to need a graphic designer to do the logo work.
That's true.
And I mean, we're in that business.
I'm just saying it's not as bad as if there were a long-standing, Facebook and Instagram following.
Yeah.
And hundreds or thousands of of posts up.
I mean, they opened in April of 2020. So this business is not even 2 years old. I mean, there's unique opportunities right now to purchase businesses. Whether it's Blue Ridge Country Store.
First image is up.
Look at the screen. Judah's got the first image up. Thank you, Judah. I mean, and if you go to iloveseville.com right now, iloveseville.com, and look for notable businesses for sale in Charlottesville and Albemarle County in Central Virginia, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Number 2.
8, that second image is on screen. 8 businesses that we've highlighted. We're also going to highlight 2 new ones next week where the owners reached out to us. The Yolk Shack, they reached out to us yesterday. I mean, you got Blue Ridge Country Store for sale. You got Artifacts Thrift Store for sale. You got Iron Poffles and Coffee for sale. Kilwins for sale. Bounce Play and Create for sale. You got Jack Shop Kitchen for sale.
3 is on.
Third image is up. You got Rockfish Gap Outfitters for sale. Oliva in Barracks Road for sale. A blacksmithing business in Keswick for sale. Great Harvest Bakery for sale. Himalayan Fusion for sale. Love and Oven in Scottsville for sale. I mean, you got a lot of listings, a lot of opportunity on the market. You know, I try to follow this pretty closely, but I cannot think of a different time or another time where you've had so many local active listings for sale in the Charlottesville, Central Virginia market. And just like the substitute teaching topic that I identified, the collateral damage of COVID is a lack of bus drivers and substitute teachers. These businesses coming on the market for sale are the collateral damage of COVID. Rents in the city of Charlottesville going up 13% year over year. The collateral damage of COVID and supply and demand issues. Look at all these. When we reflect, and would this be an anthropologist or a sociologist who does this? Someone who reflects on this 2-year period and then analyzes the 5 to 10 years after it and the cause and effect of a pandemic. Is that a sociologist or anthropologist?
I'd say sociologist. I think an anthropologist would be more likely to study past cultures.
I think sociologists as well. Would you guys say sociologists or anthropologists, viewers and listeners? I say sociologists as well. When sociologists reflect on this COVID period, there's going to be a direct cause and effect of this pandemic and equity issues with education, equity issues with housing, equity issues with employment, equity issues with running businesses. I mean, we're just now, it's now endemic. And we don't even still know what the ramifications. We'll highlight next week 2 other additional businesses that are coming on the market. One that is a wowzer. I guess I'll close with this. Look, I've been self-employed as an owner and entrepreneur for 14 years on the end of May. Almost 14 years of doing this. Wow. It is not easy. It is not easy. And with the decisions we make, we take them seriously. Every dollar that we spend or allocate, or every resource of our most precious commodity, our time, we consider extremely seriously before allocating or spending. There's a reason why 80% of businesses fail in their first 3 years of operation, because this is brutal work. And I empathize and I sympathize with all founders and business owners of the small or local variety. Because every day is unfortunately a different day, or every day, fortunately, is a different day. And the last thing anyone expected was the pandemic. And just because the pandemic is now endemic doesn't mean the pandemic is not influencing things today. And I just highlighted rents going up, substitute teaching issues, and businesses going on the market, all collateral damage of the pandemic. Check out iloveseville.com, iloveseville.com, for the listing of businesses. They'll surprise you. That's the show. He's Judah Wickower. My name is Jerry Miller. It's Friday. Oh, look at that. That was a smile. Thank you, Judah. Tell everybody to do something cool this weekend.
Get out, enjoy enjoy the weather with friends and family, and just be thankful that spring is here. And I think for now the cold days are done.
I hope so. I think so too. That was good. That was a good answer from you.
Thank you.
I like that. Seriously. 63, 60s for the high this week. That was good.
It could be a little warmer.
I know.
I'd like it a little bit warmer than that.
Dude, your preferred temperature is what? Upper 90s?
No. I think ideally
Low 90s?
mid 70s.
Okay.
To low 80s.
Okay.
I don't like it really hot. I just don't like it cold.
That's fair.
And support your local businesses. They need you.
They need you. They 100% need you. Personal property tax is another ramification of the pandemic going up.
That's
supply
insane.
chain shortages.
I mean,
your used car
I know
has gone up in value.
it's insanity.
You are going to pay more for the taxes on your used car than you ever have, ever before.
That's crazy.
And normally it goes the other way.
Yeah.
It's insanity. Thank you for joining us, guys. Take care.